So it seems to be the year of goodbyes when it comes to some quite iconic and amazing cars that we've known and loved for quite a while. And I've just recently done a video on the Nissan GTR. That's being, finished, although the GTR badge is supposed to return, but I think it'll be in a very different form. And I did that some days ago. I did that video. Just now I've recorded another video about the Civic Type R. So that's probably going live. I'll put that live before this one, so that'll be live now on the channel. So goodbye to the Civic Type R. And the third one I want to say goodbye to, that's also being discontinued now, is the Boxster Cayman from Porsche. Yep, that's also gone. And I've actually driven, I think every generation, there's 4 generations, I've driven 3 of them. So let's reminisce about the Porsche Boxster Cayman.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
So the Porsche Boxster was a real surprise of a car coming from Porsche, because it was a brand new car that slotted in below the 911, and it featured, unusually, a mid-engine layout. Not a rear engine layout like the 911, not a front engine layout like a 924 or 944 or 968, the other cars that Porsche had up to then. No, it had a mid-engine layout. So this was like Porsche doing mini Ferrari stuff. And so it was very intriguing. And by all accounts, it was supposed to be quite good. It came out in 1996. The 986 is the code name for that one. Came out in 1996, ran to 2004, the first one. I didn't drive it till I think probably about 2002, 2003, when I was in Used Car Buyer magazine, and we got one in to do a review on as a used car. And that was the first time I drove it. I gotta say that up till that point I was a bit skeptical about it. I was always like, oh, it's one of those cars that's like you buy it and everybody's like, oh, you couldn't afford a 911, huh? You bought a Boxster, huh? And I think people still do that, people still say that. But I have to say, and I had driven 911s by that point, and I had to say that I preferred the Boxster immediately, because the confidence and assurance that the Boxster gave, the 911 could not match. The balance of the car really was really sweet, and because of that, the handling precision and the confidence that you had in the handling was fantastic. The steering talked to you, the car talked to you, it moved like you wanted it to move, it played like you wanted it to play. I didn't drive it a lot. I remember driving it around. I worked in Hatfield, took it out on some B roads, took it around in a business estate, around some roundabouts and stuff like that. And it was an absolute blast. It was an absolute joy. I really loved it. That was updated with the 987 Boxster Cayman. That's when it was joined with the Cayman, the coupe version. I think that was really just an update, the 987. Ooh, started to drizzle. I hope I don't have to speed this up. That came out in 2005, and it ran to 2012. So in total, that first car ran for 16 years. Wow, 16 years essentially. If you got 986, 987 was the same car, and then the Cayman came along. So I didn't drive that one. The next one I drove after that was in Dubai. I drove the 981, which came out in 2012, replaced that car. That ran from 2012 to 2016. This is the 981 Boxster Cayman. And I reviewed those cars. And I had to say that I really enjoyed it. I thought, again, the balance was still better than the 911. Although, to be honest, like 911 by this time, the suspension technology, the electronics on the car, the traction technology had made 911 so good that actually, they weren't as scary as they used to be to drive, even by this time. I mean, you go to the upper and top end of these things, 911 turbos and GT3s and what have you, they're still dangerous and scary and intimidating. But you take like a Carrera 2 or Carrera 4, no problem at all. So, but the Boxster they're still there, and I still could see like the appeal of it. But one thing really bugged me was this is when everybody was switching to electric steering, and even for me the 911 also was just was hurt with the electric steering when it first came out. I didn't like it at all in that car. I felt it just took away a lot from the 911, and I think it did the same to the Boxster. It just took away a lot from it, that first generation electric steering. And the feel that you really wanted from a Porsche, you were like, I'm not getting it. I'm really not getting it. So I liked it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a sensible Porsche. It made sense, and probably a better handling one still for most novices, most people. I'm still, 20, 35 years driving high performance cars. I still say I'm a novice, but there you go. So that was the more accessible one, and I still think it was good. But I thought it lost something with the electric steering. Now I think by the time the next one came out, which is the one, so that one, and I think that even Porsche must have known this, because if you think about it, it ran from 2012 to 2016, just 4 years. So just 4 years for the 981 Boxster Cayman. Hope you're enjoying this video. Make sure to hit like, share and subscribe if you're not already doing so. And support independent automotive journalism channels like mine. You can do that at patreon.com, coffee.com, or taking out a subscription right here on YouTube. Or you know what, better still, you can go and buy my books. I've got 3 books out now. They're all on Amazon. They're all available to buy. More details on this are in the description, but buying any of these books will certainly help. Thanks so much for watching. And then in 2016, the 982 Boxster Cayman came out, and that one ran for, well, that's discontinued this year. So that's nearly a decade. That's run for 9 years, that car. No wonder they've had to discontinue it, because they've said that it's outdated in terms. So I should have said this right at the beginning. The reason that Porsche are being forced to kill off the Boxster Cayman is not because there's no demand for it. It's because of the Data Protection Act and the equipment and the setup electronically in the car, which doesn't allow for certain protection that now is required by European legislation. So they've had to kill off the car, because to re-engineer it in would have cost too much, and they've thought, well, we'll just come out with a new one. So there will be a new Boxster Cayman, or whatever it's going to be called, because by this time we're called the 718. So by this time we're not calling Boxster Cayman anymore, we're calling them 718. But I suspect, well, we know actually, that it will be electric. And it's going to be based on the same chassis. If you saw the recent Audi concept car that's just been released, the Audi C concept, it's going to be the same chassis as that, and they're both EVs. So we won't get this, we won't get that. And also the other thing that people had a problem with the 718 was it went back to the 2-litre 4-cylinder flat 4. And some people said it didn't sound as good. I disagreed. I thought it sounded better. I actually liked it. So the Boxster I really enjoyed, because I drive it with the roof down and just listen to the engine. And I thought the burble, it had the kind of old school, you know, yes, I mean, if you want to think Beetle is, describing it as a Beetle is an insult, I don't think it's an insult, because that's the heritage of Porsche. So it had that, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So I really liked it. And also, the other thing about this one, the 982, the 718, was that I think by this time they'd learned a little bit more about electric power steering, and they'd learned how to tweak it and improve the feel, or the artificial feel, whatever you want to call it, however they do it, I'm not sure. But it definitely improved. I still would prefer a normal hydraulic or a plain steering rather than electric, but anyway, it had improved. And this one I drove around Yas Marina. And Yas Marina, we drove it at the same time they were launching a 911 update as well. And this one, we drove this one and the 911 around Yas Marina circuit, which I have driven a few times, but I have to say I'm quite intimidated by that circuit, especially the Grand Prix circuit when you go into the marina section, because all the walls are 90-degree right-handers and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed throwing the Boxster Cayman, the 718 round there, even more so than the 911. So 911 I thought on the road was actually better, was more fun, because we did road route and on the track as well. And I thought the 911 was actually more satisfying, more enjoyable on the road. So in fact, for most people in the real world, you'd get the 911 because you get the post factor and the ability to say, I got a 911. But if you're a serious trackhead and you really cared about your driving, you'd probably go for the Boxster, because you probably get more out of it on the track. So great car, absolutely great car. I would highly recommend one. Well, I think it's brilliant. Still got, despite the fact that it's been around 9 years, I still think it's got loads of life left in it. Still looks the business. I think it looks great. But it is no more. It is no more, and it will be replaced with an EV. So there you go. So it's goodbye to the Porsche Boxster Cayman. Please let me know your memories, your thoughts, if you had one. What was your experience with the car? Did you love them? Did you hate them? I want to hear from all of you, and I want to hear your tribute to it. And I want to hear about your thoughts on what's going to come next from Porsche, and if you think that's the right thing for them to do. So anyway, so there is another tear to be wiped from the eye, although it might just be a bit of drizzle, I don't know, because it's raining now. So, one or the other. Oh, let it rain down on me. Where have all the good cars gone? And with that lament, I bid you goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.